Thank you, everybody, and welcome to our webinar for today for Bookkeep on the pitfalls of a single monthly sales entry. So hello, I'm Tanya Hiltz, CPB and AIA, and I'm here because I'm passionate about clean files, and you can find me at Tanya's Bootcamp on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. A little bit about myself. I've received my Accredited Impactful Advisor designation, which is what that AIA is, in 2021. I also am a level 5 certified advisor through the Mentor Plus program under the tutelage of Jeannie Whitehouse, an Insightful Accountant Top 100 Pro Advisor 2018, 19, 2020, and 21, Intuit Global Firm of the Future winner for 2018. I'm also a volunteer mentor through Futurepreneur Canada and Women in Accounting, a member of the Intuit Trainer Writer Network, a director of CPB Canada, and the founder of Cloud Business Services and Tanya's Bookkeepers Bootcamp. We have special guests today, Sherry Lee Mather, CPB AIA. She's the founder of Balsam Way. She's a craft brewery and winery specialist, level 5 certified advisor through Mentor Plus with her AIA designation. She was awarded the CPB Canada 2021 Professional Leader of the Year. Yay, congratulations. Named as the Insightful Accountant Top 100 Pro Advisor for 2018, 19, 2020, and 21. Member of the Intuit Trainer Writer Network, and named as a top 21 semi-finalist for 2018, the top 10 influencers in the Canadian bookkeeping world. Next special guest. Sorry?
I said, we've traveled the same path.
We absolutely have. We, just like I said to her yesterday, you know, that the one thing that smart people have is they surround themselves with other smart people. I like to think I'm smart. I surround myself with other smart people. There we go. Anyway, so then we also have special guest Jason Richardson, who's the founder and CEO of Bookkeep. He's the co-founder and CEO of Bookkeep, the founder of ShopKeep, which is a point of sale system that has helped over 23,000 small retailers and entrepreneurs streamline their business operations and stay competitive. Launched and scaled multiple companies, including InternetCash.com, The Green Grape Grocery, and Simply Wine, a serial entrepreneur recognized by EI Entrepreneur of the Year, and author and keynote speaker contributing to Entrepreneur, speaking on e-commerce, small business, and technology. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention, Jason?
No, those are, I've done a lot from small business to accounting to software. Always around small business.
Well, and I think that's, you know, how we mentioned yesterday that's why you're here today, because I love to surround myself with and really get involved in apps that listen. And you have been an entrepreneur, you've been small business, and you know, you had said yesterday that you also have an accounting firm, that this was a creation to solve one of your problems, correct?
Yep. It's definitely a problem I've seen as part of my own businesses, but also as part of our bookkeeping side of this business. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where it's really important. You know, and a lot of apps that we deal with don't understand both sides of it. They don't either understand the true struggles of the small business, or they don't understand the accounting side. So that's perfect and awesome that you've done this. And I just want to throw out there as well that Sherry's been working with you, Jason, for about a year. Is that right?
Yep.
I think it's been a year. And if you've impressed her, you know, you've definitely impressed me, because she's a hard woman to satisfy.
Yes. Yes, we know.
Come on, I'm still single. Don't do
that. But what I love and what has really got me, you know, interested and staying interested is that you listen and react to, you know, the issues that we have and things with it. And, you know, again, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the accounting community for listening to our pain points and trying to go in and solving them, because we're so used to not being listened to by other apps that I really think that is going to place you guys above and beyond. You guys have great support. And again, you're trying to react and continue to solve those problems that we have to make it easy, instead of assuming you know what our problems are and not actually listening. So thank you on behalf of the accounting community for that, because that's huge. And I know with at least, you know, most of us Canadians and a lot of the US, I know that builds a lot of brand loyalty. So thank you for that.
add something in there. He's actually taken it one step higher. His project manager is a CPA. So they really understand when they're making the entries, exactly the impact that's happening. And also you had mentioned Shopkeep has been sold to a Canadian company.
Yep. Our head of product at Bookkeep is a CPA. He has a master's of accounting as well. And he's worked, the last thing he worked on was working at Kroger grocery stores, helping summarize point of sale data into accounting at a huge scale. So he's perfectly suited for what we're doing here. And I think he might be listening, but he just joined us about 2 months ago, I think. Yeah, and Shopkeep did. Yeah, Shopkeep got sold to Lightspeed, which is a Canadian company. And we are currently working on our Lightspeed integration right now for anyone who wants to help us beta test that.
Awesome. Perfect.
It was the Canadian company part I was trying to make sure you brought in.
Yes. All right. So most of you who've been in my webinars know that I like to include a quote that is relevant to the situation. And this I found really kind of spoke to me when we're talking, the subject we're talking today, which is, the pitfalls of doing a monthly sales entry, which is data quality requires a certain amount of sophistication within a company to even understand that it's a problem. And this is exactly it. A lot of you that are watching this, and it'll be interesting to see when we pop the polls out to see who actually has thought that a single sales entry wasn't really creating a problem. And hopefully this will be able to, understand why it's creating a problem.
I read a quote this morning, actually. It said, data is real. It's no longer a pie in the eye concept. And I was just like, that's exactly it. So you might want to do your poll. You forgot yesterday before we jump into this next one.
All right. So, look at that. The poll isn't created. Okay. So that's okay. I forgot to recreate the poll in there. Those of you watching it that did answer the polls yesterday, you will get your CPD credits. The poll was just basically, I think, how many of you do a single sales entry right now? So you can go ahead and put it in the chat so we can still garnish that. But again, those that are watching, this is not the same webinar of yesterday. We are re-recording this for your benefit because there was the 6 seconds was all I could pull out of the recording, and the rest of it was corrupt, unfortunately. So, so thank you very much to Sherry and Jason for opening your time again to re-record this for everybody who is watching this afterwards.
So, how you see the world depends on where you sit. That I put that in there because it really occurred to me. As accounting professionals, we kind of look in one way, small business owners look in another. So we're looking at making sure things are fast, efficient, get in, which is why so many people do that single entry, because I know working with breweries previously, it would take me half an hour just to get the daily sales summary in and balanced. So easier. Let's just put one entry in at the end of the month. All the money goes into a clearing account. And then if it doesn't balance, the difference goes to cash order over. Whereas small business owners, where they sit, they want their accounting to be inexpensive, but at the same time, they want it to be they want the accounting bill to be inexpensive, but they want access to all the data.
Right.
So that's where, that comes from.
All right, perfect. So this is just directly off the website, so I'm sure this looks very familiar to you, Jason. Smarter accounting automation is more than just syncing transactions, and this could not be so more true. So this is just a quick, little visual of that. Right now, you support Xero and QBO. Sage 50 is on the roadmap as well, from what I understand. Is that correct?
It's on the roadmap. Yep. And Sage Business Cloud and a few others. Yep.
Perfect. Okay, great. And then the current apps are right here. And then I see here there's PayPal, and I know you said Lightspeed. So I don't know if you just want to talk about any of these or.
Yeah, there's a lot more than actually is indicated here. We have about 21 apps that are now live in our platform, and more coming every day. So yeah, some of these we already have live. So you can try any of them out. They're all available right now.
Beautiful. Awesome. Okay.
I want to actually go back to that super quick there, is I want to point out the fact that data now and systems, they're anywhere. You could look from Square. You got your little, weekend warriors at the craft fair using Square,
Right.
all the way to hospitality, e-commerce. And at one point, people thought it was just e-commerce and coffee shops and wine stores, right, Jason? Wine stores.
and wine stores. And actually, to your point from the slide before, the way people look at it, what these app developers on these little logos here that create sales transactions and help people sell stuff, they look at it completely different than accountants, which is why we have this huge disconnect, which is why Bookkeep exists, because we understand how to automate proper summary entries, whereas those app developers, if they build something, it's usually just dump transactions, and that can make a huge mess of your books. It doesn't work for reconciliation against the payments, and it's just really, really a messy way to do it if they do it at all. So, so we're trying to bridge that gap.
Absolutely. And just the person I was just speaking with before now, she is a bookkeeper, and she actually is now using Square, because if people want to book an out-of-scope appointment with her, they're taken through an automatic process. So you're using Square. So again, as Sherry said, this is expanding. The world of COVID is expanding a lot more people to be using these solutions than before. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well,
okay.
And not only that, there's multiple systems, as Jason indicated, linked together. You'll have sales through Shopify, taking money through PayPal. There's other stuff coming in through Amazon, or the one business I worked with before, there was 8 different payment venues coming in. Walk-in sales, everything. It was crazy.
Right.
So on that, I created this here, and this is the first column, gives you an idea, and this is sort of your Shopify sales of one store. So that is just your cash basis that we can't do in Canada. So if you strictly record the entry at the end of the month by your deposits, you end up showing, 76,086, but the income, you show your income is 195,000, right? Your cash to balance, 195,000, easy peasy, right? The next one, this is a summarize. So this is if you go into, say, your Square, your Shopify or whatever, you look at that one monthly report and you go, yep, we've got our sales, we've got our merchant fees coming off, here's our taxes and gift cards, boom, there we go. So now we're just, and it looks pretty simple, in Canada here, it's nice and easy. And then the very last one, this shows where all the systems are being pulled in together, consolidated, and you're getting all the different information. So you're actually seeing your sales, you're seeing your income. So you can actually see those different channels. And one of the things with breweries is we separate by category. So we actually separate our wholesale beer, our beer that's sold in-house, our takeout beer, our food, we separate the wine, merchandise. So we have all of these different categories that we're separating and we can see. But now if you compare the first one, your cash basis, so that's a once in a month cash basis transaction, to your last column there, you can see the difference. Yeah, the cash to balance is the same, 195,000, but look at what's happened. We've gone from eight actual activities down to 4, or I should say to the one line of sales. So we've missed a lot of really key data, splitting stuff. Our margins are skewed as well. So if you're looking at margins on your categories, those are completely skewed. Now we also have our balance sheet is misstated, as well as our revenue. But look at that difference in revenue from 195,000 to 229. Take that difference of almost 30,000, multiply that by 12. Suddenly you're going in for a loan. What happens? That's a big difference.
Right.
So the next one, I got rid of that cash one because, again, for Canadian people, we can't record. We are not allowed to do it unless you're a farmer or a fisherman. So now let's just say you've got that one transaction report. It's incredibly complex to find. If you have to jump through in Shopify about 5 or 6 places to get all that information. So if you just go to that single sales report, you go, yep, there's my sales, there's the fees, there's the taxes, and there we go. So yeah, you know what? we take a look here, and the income is different than if we're bringing it in. The income is actually now overstated because you're missing the chargebacks. Chargebacks on most systems, on Amazon and Shopify and that, they're in a completely different area.
Yeah, they come out of the deposits. Yeah,
absolutely. The same thing, your PayPal loans. So there's so many systems now where they actually have loans because, you know, they're giving you loans based upon what they see. So you may be paying something back. That doesn't come off. So now how much time would you be spending going, wait a second, I've only got $195,000 cash. Where did it go? You know, I'm looking for 231 to 195. So this is exactly what happened with a colleague of mine, Amy, and we'll talk about her later. She could not find and could not balance her undeposited funds. So again, we've got 8 activities and sales, all reduced down to the 4, right? We've, our balance sheet is misstated again. And then also Amazon, if we were using Amazon, which it showed on the other, Amazon, in fact, groups their sales by two weeks.
Yep.
So
deposits, yeah.
Yeah. So what happens is your sales are one amount, but then your deposits are showing in completely different. So, you know, you spend all this time trying to reconcile, oh, well, you know, you've got a period that went over the end of the month, and they always do. So how much money is actually owed at the end of the month? So again, you know, our balance sheet's misstated, and the sales again. Next slide. So here is an example. You're going in and you're looking at your monthly sales. So let's just say here we're looking in, and this is one of my clients that I pulled the information from. You take a look there, the sales are 37,000. So if I booked this entry just like this, I'd be booking my sales, my returns, discounts, whatever, showing my sales there, the taxes, all good. So that's what that middle column was if I took this summary for the month. So now I go in and I take a look at the columns here, and look what's happened. My uncategorized, I have 2 in uncategorized. So what is that? You know, I got to go and I have to find out what that is, right? So usually we get the uncategorized entries because it's not been mapped. So the challenge is, these systems make it so easy that any employee can go in and add something. They just suddenly add a new, oh, we got some t-shirts in, or we got this, or we're going to sell that, or, you know, those kind of things. Right. So you don't get all that information in. So if you look down 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got, you know, cider event deposits. So now take a look at the event deposits. Those event deposits are deposits.
Right.
Right? This is not income. You're taking a deposit on a room. So again, you go and report this as your sales. You've now included this into your sales. Next slide. So of course, I got to go in and I'm searching to find out what is this uncategorized amount. Guess what it is? It's event balance. So somebody went in, and this is actually, one is a deposit on a wedding, the other is a Christmas party. These are deposits. These are not income, right? So our sales are actually, it's saying they're 37, but it's actually been overstated by $3,900. How did I know this? How did I even know to go looking for this? That's because this is what I use. I use Bookkeep to bring everything in. And so every day I get a summary from all my clients. And right in there, it says I have 2 new optional subcategories to be mapped. Oh, so of course I look in, and that's where I go back and I start looking at these. What's happening? What's happening? So you can see that as well. You can look down. So each client, I can see whether it's been accepted, whether there's deposits, yes or no. You look down, you can see the X's. So they, yes, it has the sunshine.
And sending you a virtual coffee.
Yes.
And a little coffee cup.
Yes, even better, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I like here, I just want to point, I like here how it's easy to look. Green check marks, red X's, and the take a look, something's wrong
Maybe a
here,
problem,
yield, right?
yeah.
Maybe a
Mhm.
problem. I love that. So it's really easy to scan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really, and that's what I said. I want to be able to see. And so because I work in a niche in breweries, the nice thing about that is I can actually scan down. It's funny because I keep thinking I have a pointer and you can all see where I'm pointing, but I can scan down the left-hand side and I can see everybody's sales for the day. So specifically this summer, it was really good to be able to get that comparative to know, because I've got breweries that I work with all over BC. I could see the island to the Okanagan, and I could see what was happening to the poor brewery in the Okanagan. We had all these forest fires. They had evacuations across the lake. There was like no sales. They were closed down. One day, I think they had $50, and yet on the other side of the island here where I am, they had a stellar $5,000 day. So that's what I could see. They should have, where they should have been.
Well, and what's good about this too is that all are in one email. So you're not getting one email per client. And I just want to point out that Sherry, you had actually talked to Jason and the team about this, and he said these emails are a pain. And so this was created because that was a pain point for you. And
Yeah.
just to point out again, this is how they listen.
Listening.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then it was like, I need to see green check marks. I need to be able to see it really easy. You got to remember how busy we are. We just look down and, okay, this is what I want to be able to see. So now here, I'm giving you an example of another one. And this one you can see is just October 5th. So here we go. I'm bringing it in again. And I'm like, wait a second, why does this client have 0 sales? You know, the two of them there, this doesn't make any sense. So the first one you can see, it says, please balance your debits and credits, which then again means something needs to be checked. The other one was, please check the mapping. So guess what? Guess what I went in and I found? Take a look. Next slide.
Extra mappings.
Oh yeah, no. I'm like, what the heck is this? They put in their tenant allowance. They thought everything that got deposited to the bank had to go into Square. So this was great. I mean, in a way, but I'm like, okay, here's what I need you to do. So the first one is client education, you know, and I had to ask them, but you know, I'm like, hey, we don't input this. This doesn't go into Square. Can you remove it? But I also, it gave me a teaching opportunity to them as well, as, you know, this doesn't go in, here's what, but these are those things that get picked up. Now, what if you're not looking at that summary and suddenly you go, wow, they had a banner month. They made an extra $33,000 this month.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's taxable.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I would have been looking next why my taxes didn't balance.
Right.
Exactly.
So again, you know, the problems that we have are numerous activities are reduced to one line based upon the deposit. So that's in that cash basis. So the data's missed.
And also, I just want to jump in here and say that, you know, when we talked yesterday, Jason, you pointed out that Bookkeep brings everything over on an accrual basis, not a cash basis as well, too, which is really important. Again, to us here in Canada, because we can only work on accrual, again, unless you're a farmer or fisherman. So,
yeah, we only do accrual based, and I didn't even realize that people do cash based ever, but yes, we're always accrual based, as it should be for retail.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
And it's broken down. So again, those activities are broken down, but also the deposits are broken down. So I just wanted to, you know, say that again. So we've got key data missing. Our product margins are skewed. Our balance sheets are misstated. We have incorrect reporting of revenue, potentially another 33,000 there. The inability, so what does that do? So now when we start actually using this data, you can't do cash flow forecasts. Every program you go into, they want to know where the sales are, right? That's how they can forecast. If you don't have it in daily, you don't know where the fluctuations are, right?
Well, and this is really important to those of us who are trying to go to advisory, get past that. And a lot of us are doing that, especially with COVID, really working with our clients. And again, so now we're working with incorrect information and all of this, it just blows all of it out of the water that we can't work with correct information to help our clients make the correct decisions.
So, and when you're looking at things like not just cash flow, but programs, again, say like Chata that we used to have, they take in information from multiple places. So not only are they taking in that daily, they're bringing in weather so that you can double check that why did you have a Monday with such amazing sales at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Well, especially here on the island. Well, that's why, because it was a sunny January day, which is rare because it's raining, and people are out walking around, and they walk in and go sit down and have a beer out on the patio because you can. But that's where you can start to look and go, oh, okay, this was an anomaly. Or if you think in the city, you've got baseball games, hockey games, like why do you have these bumps in sales? When you're pulling in a number of different things, you need that data, and the data has to be correct. But the biggest, I would say, also not pulling that in, and is a big problem when people don't even think about it, is what if you change software? So let's just say, like, I have personally moved a number of clients off of Touch Bistro because they're paying too much for something they're not using. It's you know, too much work, but they've just lost all those daily sales, all that information. So as accounting professionals, we go, yeah, we got the sales in, we got what we need, we got our report if we're audited, right? But the client has lost all this information.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we just had a client just change over last month, and they're going to be the first one that we're going to set up and work with on here. And they just changed to Shopify. And you're right, like all that data is gone. She's got, thankfully, she's pulled all of the reports, but if she needs to dig deeper, she can't.
Yeah,
Right.
those daily sales, those fluctuations, you miss that. So, yeah, that's our problem. So what's the solution? We get something that will summarize.
Bookkeep right here.
Absolutely. There we go. It's going to summarize all that activity into a single daily entry. And I will say, in the beginning, I was like, no, because I'm a data person, I did not like it coming through as a journal entry. But I can tell you, there's been way more pluses than there's been negatives to the journal entry. And I have to say, at this point, there's not a lot of other software that's at that point of being able to look at that granular, whether this is actually a sales receipt versus an invoice. So getting it in by a single summarized daily entry is perfect.
And it also brings it in the items and the categories. That's all brought in as well. So it does bring it in at that granular level.
It brings it in at the category level, not how does it handle items on other things besides, because I specifically just work with the two, right?
We currently only handle subcategories of gross sales, discounts, and refunds as sales categories. But we will be adding, so they're rolled up by sales categories. We're going to add roll up by item. That's coming. And we are also going to add roll up by country, believe it or not, for Shopify stores that sell internationally. And they like to have they have different lines for different countries for income.
Wow. So that would also work for Amazon, wouldn't it?
Yes. We'll have the same functionality across all the different apps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, and this is my favorite thing. This saves me personally so much time. Is it reconciles it. I look in daily as I run my bank feed, and I got all these beautiful little, you know, bookkeeping match. It's not going, and you actually can break down that payment of whether it goes to cash, whether it's another payment method. So, you know, if somebody's paid by cash, you're trying to balance your cash drawer. If there's another payment method, say like Stripe, so I would post that to another payment method, and, you know, the bank. So it's all nicely broken down, matches. And because it's done daily, I can reconcile my month end so much faster, because essentially by the end of the month, everything's already been balanced in my bank.
Yep.
I think that's one of your points here coming up.
Well,
anyway,
I jumped around.
That's okay.
Yeah. So Shopify integration also handles cost of goods. Again, close out the month. Yeah, I was telling you a little ahead of myself. And as you can see up there, you can catch those errors earlier. And when you catch things early, you can actually get better information. So I'm missing this. What is that? What's happening? You know, people can remember. Ask a busy business owner what happened 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago.
Right.
You're trying to reconcile something. Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, what if the client says back to you, well, why didn't you catch this 6 months ago when it happened, right? You're
Yeah.
saving all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. An incredible time saver.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yes, we've got that one.
I already covered that one. Yeah.
And special Canadian feature alert. Drum roll, please. Love that slide. Is Canadian GST, HST, and PST posted correctly to the sales tax module?
So that is huge. And I know we spent a lot of time making sure that that worked correctly. So yesterday we didn't have an example of it. I decided today we should put an example in.
Okay, there we
So
are.
here you can see how it's actually broken down to your, you know, the GST sales, my liquor sales. I can get all of those. And if you look down at that bottom of that entry there, you can see where it actually shows that's how much is going to your GST. That's how much is going to your PST. You can see it balances. Doesn't impact the sales. You have one little entry at the very bottom of your income statement that'll say bookkeep, and it says 0. So the other thing is what I love about this entry is see where in the bottom corner there, the memo, that's the link. So that links you to each of the entries.
It's not a live link, but you can copy and paste, correct?
Yeah, you have to copy.
Okay.
They don't. Yeah, QuickBooks doesn't let you click, but we'll eventually have a attached PDF that'll you'll be able to easily click on.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
so I know for e-commerce, and that was one of my frustrations previously, is most systems will not handle that for Canadians. We just get this, oh, you got to post everything to one big sales tax clearing account, and then you have to go back into their system and you have to take that journal entry and you have to reallocate it.
Yeah, most apps, sales tax is too complicated for most apps, and they think that you want QuickBooks to decide the sales tax for you. That's how most apps think about it, and maybe that's how they're trained into it, but that's not the case because your front end system collected sales tax. So you have to report what was collected, whether it was correct or not, you have to report what was collected. So we take what was collected and we back into the taxable revenue based off of that information, and we book that separately from and then we still also book it as sales categories breakdown as well.
Yeah, I couldn't show, I didn't have a big enough screen to show everything. Right. My journal entries are very long, but it gets in there, and you can also see where it actually shows up on the top there where we've got, it's breaking down the cash tendered, the other tendered. And then what happens is, I mean, above that, I've got my Square clearing account, and that's where that deposit would go in, because as well, Bookkeep balances the deposits.
Yep. And again, just to point out, this was something that Sherry, you asked them, said this is a pain, this is a problem, and they worked on. So again, just another example of how you guys are listening, which again is just absolutely amazing.
Not that I am not hard to please. I am hard to impress. And
sorry, you're right. Hard to impress.
That they would look at this and do that, I was like, oh, suddenly I was paying attention. This app is willing to work with us Canadians and do something that we really, really need. So that impressed me.
Thank you.
Sorry,
well, you helped us build it.
You keep saying I'm hard to please. I'll be single forever.
You're right. Hard to impress. Hard to impress. Hard to impress. And she knows where the bodies. She finds.
I know where to find the dead bodies. I'm good at finding them.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got. We thought we'd do a case study. Amy was supposed to be with us live, the original date that we had this scheduled for, and was unable to. So I had a conversation with Amy and just wanted to find out what it was like before and after. So,
and this came about because Amy knows I work with Square, and what happened to her was they have the connection, everything went in, and she could not balance and could not. So exactly as I showed in those previous slides, that difference in the money, she's like, I can't find this money. What's going on? So there you go.
Yeah, her items weren't matching. She was left with undeposited funds to reconcile, unable to trace exactly where they came from. You know, she was spending 12 to 24 hours a month, and this is on one of her clients. Now, yes, this is a big client, probably does, you know, I think she said 100 transactions a day through Square, but these days 100 transactions isn't a lot depending what you're using Square for in your business.
They were large dollar transactions too.
Oh, they were large show. Okay, yeah. So 12 to 24 hours a month. Newly added items never synced correctly. So again, they came in as uncategorized. So then they had to go into QBO to every single transaction and manually change all of those uncategorized ones to have them come in properly. Her setup. So then Sherry and Amy had this conversation. Amy got excited. Her setup. So she used Zenit Port to delete a year's worth of transactions. She set up Bookkeep, mapped it, got everything, re-imported the entire year of transactions, and reconciled them within 1 hour. Now, this is including her testing. So she did admit she wanted to see. So she brought in a week first, said, okay, that went good. Then brought in a few weeks and then a month and then a few months before she finally expanded to the year. But that took her an hour to undo and redo what took her 12 to 24 hours a month to put in the first place. She then was so excited she repeated that with 4 more clients. Again, less than 8 hours on those 4 clients. It depended on the complexity of the client file. And manually, this would have taken her approximately 24 hours per client to set these up and reconcile per month. And she did a year's worth and the setup in an hour, reverse year setup. So pretty amazing. So now that she's got Bookkeep connected, all details are coming in a single transaction, and the deposits are placed correctly and auto-magically, Kelly Park's word, love it, auto-magically matched, which is absolutely amazing.
Match the bank feed, yeah. She was so happy. And I want to add that she was trying to get this all done before she was going on holidays, which you can imagine her stress level was up to here. So being able to get that done so quickly is huge. I mean, imagine having that over your head going on holidays.
Yeah. Exactly. So now her 12 to 24 hours per month of work per client is now down to 1 to 2 hours. Again, depending on the complexity, the level of detail, there's still, you know, some stuff that she does have to go in with those clients and work things through. She now has accurate sales information, and her total time saved is about 20 hours per month to actually get, you know, the exact same detailed data in there.
Yeah, that's huge.
Very huge. So at this point, I'm going to stop screen sharing so Jason can share, and he's just going to go through a little bit of a demo and show a few things that he wanted to show.
I'll show you this screen. So yeah, we, Tanya and Sherry Lee have said it better than I could. And it makes me smile and makes me happy to see that our vision for what we thought was the problem was spot on. And a lot of the time, the reason that accountants and bookkeepers have so much trouble with this piece of bookkeeping and accounting is because a lot of these app developers never ever think about the accountants. I was just looking at another app recently today for another customer. That app does return management for Shopify. They hardly even have proper accounting reporting in the app, let alone in their API. And when you don't have that, it can take you so long to have to figure out how their reporting works after you finally get the login, which can also take you a long time to get. But and keep that login working. But then you have to find those reports, and then you have to remember every month, where do I get those reports? So what we're really trying to do is be that bridge. We understand, because of my experience with point of sale systems and small business, we understand that a lot of these app developers who make products, tools so that you can sell stuff, whether you're selling tickets, you're selling donations, you're selling shirts, or you're selling coffee, whatever it is that you're selling, those tools are designed to help you sell more. They're never really they never really put on the front page of what they're selling, hey, it's really good for your accountant too. That doesn't help them. You know, your tool, you know, our software will help you.
We integrate with QuickBooks. That's
So
all oh, this is good. The accounting profession people will be happy. It integrates with QuickBooks, or it integrates with Xero, or it integrates with Sage. Yeah, you're good. It's like, yeah, but
it doesn't work. Right. No, they almost never work. They're poorly done. And if you need support on it, they don't know the answer to the question. And I saw this in real time at my own company at Shopkeep. I built the QuickBooks integration. No one wanted to support it. Customer care didn't understand how it worked. And when there were errors coming from QuickBooks, they didn't want to deal with it. And customers were stuck with, well, Shopkeep says it's QuickBooks and QuickBooks doesn't know who the heck Shopkeep is. So you're just stuck. So we want to be that bridge. We have customer care. We understand the data coming from the app side. So from Square, we understand the data going into QuickBooks or Xero or NetSuite or Intact, and we understand those error messages. And we have a chat bubble, so if you get stuck, you can talk to us. So, and we want to do this for every app out there. So, you know, a very quick demo is to show you that you can connect all of your apps in one place. You can do all your mapping in one place. Your mapping screens all look the same, you know, depending on the data elements, but you know, they're easy to understand and easy to. It doesn't matter what the front end app is. So sales, etc. We have in here, you're mapping to your accounts, or you can quickly generate a new account if you need to from our app. And then of course you can do the breakdown of sales categories, which as I said before, also will eventually be items. And you can map. So if I wanted to map, you know, beer and sake to the same chart of accounts, I could do that here. The way our system works right now is anything you don't map in the subcategories will flow up into the default category. So we will take out and pull out the CBD sales for this one line, and then the difference will be up here. And we'll take this one out, and the difference of both of those will be up here, so that it will still flow in.
That little memo in the email.
Yes, and now if we just added this new feature, so if a new subcategory line shows up, so Sherry Lee generally maps every single one of these, so she wants to know if a new one shows up. If a new one shows up, you'll see it in your 7 a.m. Morning email. So you know that you have to go and fix it right away. And we'll keep iterating on that email and give you a link so you can go straight to this window and make those updates. And we also have breakdowns for sales tax. If you want to map your sales tax, this is the US settings. In Canada, these would link to actual sales tax accounts. In the US, we do liabilities. But I won't go over all the details here, but every mapping is a sales channel, basically. Every mapping can have a class, a customer, or a vendor assigned just for the reporting, as well as a department. You can also put a text name to help differentiate between sales channels. You can also get an individual report sent to you for this summary every day, if you want, or you can turn that off. And then here you also have your deposit, which will balance in your Square balance account. So we back out the gross amount before fees. And then this is your bank amount that will match in the banking feed, and then whatever else is taken out. And there's a lot of things that Square takes out of your deposits. Square is definitely one of the ones that makes it really difficult. You would have to go to 3 or 4 different reports to get all these numbers. If they're using Square Square debit card, if they're using Square loans, you're going to be going to a lot of different screens to get this information to figure out what was in that deposit.
And that's exactly what I showcased in that second column, was going to all those different screens, how much is missed. And you just showed it right there where you consolidate it all, and you go out and you're looking for everything. Exactly.
We pull all the financial details so that your journal entries balance, so that your payments balance against your sales journal entries in your clearing account, and so that all the financial details are captured. And we do this for lots of different apps. We have about 21 of them. We're adding more. If you have an app that we don't have, we will build it for you. If you can bring us the customer and connect the customer into our system, and we can test it with you, beta test it with you, we can build it in a couple weeks. So we really are just slowed down by not having access to beta customers for different apps, apps that we don't currently have in our system, like eBay we talked about yesterday is one that we definitely need some beta testers, because we've got that one mostly built. And they don't take us that long to build once we have access to the data. So then here is where we summarize all the entries. And the important thing about a good accounting integration is transparency. So here you can see these entries were posted. You can scan down and see all the dates were posted, although this one turned off because it stopped on the 12th. In our app, you can always rerun. If it doesn't happen very often, but if sometimes Square misses returns, like when we run our jobs at midnight, the returns might not be there. Or sometimes you might run your job early in the day, which was a mistake. You can always rerun the job with this button. And then when you post to accounting, the most important thing of any accounting integration is show me a link to what I just posted. I don't think any app does that. Payroll apps, Square doesn't even have any insight whatsoever into what they're posting. Show me a link of what I just posted so that I can click on it and go straight to it and see and make sure it's right. Or if maybe I want to make an edit to it, or maybe I want to put a note on it. But so we always show you a link straight to there. And as part of our slogan is smarter accounting integration, or accounting integration just got smarter. We do little things like when we put a summary together, we show you this is for 37 orders and 2 refunds from this time period, so that when you're seeing this number, it's not just like, oh great, what is that? Because your settings could be wrong. You might have had the wrong time period, and it's like, why is this not balancing? So these are the things that help you figure those things out. We have a link to the report in Shopify. This is a Shopify entry, so that you can go straight to that report and check it against these numbers if you want. And we never duplicate, we always update. So if you were in here and you needed to decide that I'm going to put pins into a pins account. Oh, I don't have a pins account. All right, let me create a pins account real fast. All right, so pins account is now just created. When I hit save, that's going to automatically, well, it should automatically resync, or I'm going to resync it. And we're always going to post to the same journal entry. That tells you that the journal entry was just updated. So when you come through and look at it here, now you're going to see the same thing we were just looking at with that new account that was just created called pins. And the $8 went into pins, the $8 came out of the default account, and you always have an audit trail. So you can always see all the edits that happen to this journal entry, because we always link to the journal entry and always update. So you're never wondering, did it just post something new and now I'm gonna have to go find that posting? So we're really,
exactly.
Yeah. So we're really careful about that. And the same thing works for Xero, and it works more or less the same across all the different apps. We do a daily summary entry. The deposits come in on the day they're deposited, and they reconcile in a clearing account. And as we get smarter with our software, we will be giving you indications that, hey, this deposit just hit. It matches perfectly to this day, and your balance in Shopify matches exactly to your balance that we see in QuickBooks. So you are perfectly reconciled. We will eventually get to that point over the next year or so, where we're going to be able to tell you, hey, everything's looking great. Everything's posted, nothing's missing. All the days are matching up. So I'll stop there, but it's basically full entry.
I'm going to add to you, as a user, this is really important to me, because if there's something, as I said, those uncategorized sales, and so you can't recategorize in Square, but now I know what it is. Mm-hmm. Where you clicked on that entry there, I can actually go in and take where it was showing as uncategorized. I can reallocate it in there. I can resync it. I can do this. I do not have to contact tech support and say, can you please rerun this entry for me? So my flow of work, I looked at it, I've investigated it, I fixed it, done, boom, off my plate, forgotten about it, instead of I've got a ticket in. There's so many systems that have us as accounting professionals locked down as if we're kindergartners and we're not allowed to do anything. So again, if you open up that sales entry there, if you
self-service is super important. And I know myself, because I reconcile my own books. Like if these numbers, for whatever reason, weren't calculating right, you want to get your books closed on a Sunday night. You just want to come in here and be like, okay, these returns aren't right. I'm going to set that to 0. It should have gone into discounts. I can update that number. I'm not going to do it, and then I can post that entry, without having to deal with calling customer care. We want to give you all the tools so you can self-service as much as possible, because it's usually a Sunday night late when you're trying to reconcile, and you're not going to always get the best support. So we want to make sure you have the tools, as well as bulk. If I click and hit sync, all of these entries will now update in QuickBooks with that new account that I created. So having bulk features, as well as running bulk history, which is not showing it, oh, because I have everything checked. We also have the ability to run date ranges. So you can run history if you need on a monthly basis. So if you have a client, you have to catch up for last year, and you want to make sure their books are properly reconciled with all the deposits matching, you can do that with our system pretty quickly.
That's awesome. And I think the one thing that I didn't hear mentioned is that all of these syncs that you have, unlike our bank feed connections that break all the time, Sherry, you can speak for it.
Right.
That was mentioned yesterday, and asking the connection and that, and I thought about it, and I thought, I have never, unless there was a QuickBooks specific issue where all the apps went down, and as I had to ask Jason, I said, like, what are you guys using to connect? Because I never have to reconnect anything. I've got the one with Shopify, I have to do a reconnection now, but that's it. Like, yeah. I have, unlike bank feeds, it really hit me yesterday of, I don't have to go in here very often unless, and mainly the reasons I go in are client related. They've created a new account, didn't map it, didn't something or whatever, but that's where, so there's so many pieces I can start, I can see it daily. So that's sort of, I have that assurance daily that I've got this entry. Yeah, it got posted. So I don't have to look. I go into my QuickBooks either daily or weekly, and I can see in the bank feed that everything's matching. So that all looks good. I personally, as Jason knows, always reconcile all my sales at the end of the month anyways. I always look to make sure the different sales system, everything's matching. And that's usually always good. And if it's not, it's usually client-based, not software-based. That, something's happened on the client side. So that, as I said yesterday, it kind of just hit me like, oh, that's never a problem for me, like disconnected bank feeds.
Right.
So the reliability is huge.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, we want it to be trusted, and we work hard to reconcile ourselves. When we run our own reconciliations, did all our clients' entries post? If they didn't post, our customer care team looks at it every morning. Sometimes we can't fix things. Maybe Square got disconnected on the Square side, or the customer disconnected or whatever. But if we can fix it, or if it's a bug in our software, we try and fix it that day, and we're getting smarter and smarter as well. So you don't have to. Eventually, we'll be able to reconcile and tell you Square's total sales for the month was this. We reconciled against your QuickBooks, and it looks exactly the same. So we think you're 100% reconciled.
Awesome. Okay, so are we ready to show the pricing now that we've got everybody all excited about this? Perfect. So I'm going to take over screen sharing again. There we go. So hopefully you guys can see the screen with the pricing. So this is the listed pricing, which is, again, like $19.99. So these are US dollars, correct?
Yeah. Yes, that's US dollars.
This one's US. Okay. So, and $19.99 per month. There's a 20% savings, and this would be for one single client with one sales channel. And what you were saying yesterday is, like, Square as an example, one deposit or one entry is a deposit, one is the sales. So that would cover
one sales channel is a location. One sales channel is a Square location. So you might have multiple Square locations.
Right.
And so the $19 will cover you for one Square location.
Okay, perfect. If you need more than that, again, you can move up. There's some premium channels and whatnot that you can find that out. But these plans, again, this is a per company, are 20% savings for 6 months using the promo code Tanya20. However, it just gets better and better and better. We're not done yet.
But wait, there's more.
Exactly. But wait, there's more. I will let you talk to this slide, Jason.
Yes. So we are for Scaling New Heights, which is this week. We'll be there if anyone wants to come visit us. We have a special pricing for our new Prime plan. It's normally $299 US or $360 Canadian. It's an unlimited plan. Unlimited clients, unlimited sales channel, unlimited entries. If you have 100 clients using Square, Shopify, Amazon Seller, Squarespace, PayPal, it's all $119 a month Canadian, no matter how many clients you have. In US, it's $99. And you have to be a pro advisor. So you have to be running a business, which is accounting. This is not for accounting firms, so not for CPA firms, if there are many partners and stuff like that. It's really for the independent QBA pro advisors that are 1 or 2 or 3 people working with 30, 50, 100 clients. That's really what this plan is for. And we hope that, we can help you build your business on this. It's one price we charge in your local currency at the beginning of the month. And you're welcome to charge your clients through at the frontline price if you want, or just build it into your pricing. And then what we hope with this plan is that when there's an app that we don't currently support, that you say, hey, I'm paying for your plan, I want you to support this app. So we want that pressure. We want those apps. We need beta customers to help us do that. So if you are on the Prime plan, we hope you'll come to us and say, hey, build XYZ app because it's taking me a lot of time and I'm already paying you a monthly fee. So we're happy to get that feedback because we want to be able to build all the apps that are needed to automate this part of bookkeeping.
No, that's awesome. And I do believe that you had said yesterday this was only until the end of this month, this deal. Is that correct?
The special pricing is this month for scaling new heights, but just reach out. We'll send the email around, but T. Rossetti, we'll send the emails out, either tom@bookkeep.co or dan@bookkeep.co, or just email support@bookkeep.com. Both work, both .com and .co work. And we can take care of you for this plan.
Perfect. So normally we would take questions at this stage. I'm just going to say that I made notes of all the questions that did come in when we were live yesterday. We've answered them all. So if there's anything else you guys wanted to add, now would be the time to add it before we finish officially.
I think this is great. I'm very appreciative for you guys to put this on. I think this has been a really fun hour.
Awesome.
I really want to, I want to say the reason I wanted to do this webinar was seeing Amy's stress and frustration. I thought that this was a Sherry issue because Sherry works with breweries and there's all this complexity and all this stuff and whatever. And previously I had worked with e-commerce, got out of it, completely focused on breweries, and then COVID hit and got right back into e-commerce with them all. But I realized that this wasn't just a Sherry issue, that everybody's having this. And this is the solution I found, that it brings me down to, I'd say, probably management less than half an hour a month per client as I'm looking at things, because you're always managing the client. So if I get an uncategorized, what is this, right? If I take that time before putting in that entry at half an hour a day, that time alone I saved of manually inputting that daily square entry by category, trying to balance it, and then still trying to balance at the end of the month and having my undeposited funds not balanced. That's huge. Absolutely. So, if having this get out there helps other people, it makes me happy. And I'm happy to, especially working with Jason and their team, they listened. So that is great.
Yeah, and I can't wait to start working with you guys. So
we're looking forward to it. Yeah, we hope that, there's so many smart CPAs in the US and accountants. I don't know all the titles in Canada, but it's hard to find bookkeeping help to do this stuff manually anyway. So we hope, we think that, hopefully we can get everyone automated like with our tool, and then you can move on to advisory, which is really where you'd rather be.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that's time. We'll call it a wrap. So thank you very much, Jason and Sherry Lee, for taking the time to come out and do this, not once, but twice, so that we could get this recording the second time. And I see it's still recording. We've got backups going on, so we're all good. So thank you very much. Everybody have a wonderful day, and we will see you all sometime soon.
Thank you both. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.